The most scandalous revelations, 10 shocking facts about First Lady Lucy Hayes. Lucy Ware Hayes, often remembered as Lemonade Lucy due to her staunch support for the temperance movement, served as the First Lady of the United States from 1877 to 1881 alongside her husband, President Rutherford B. Hayes. Despite her reputation for piety and social reform, her time in the White House was not without controversy and intriguing incidents. Here are 10 surprising and scandalous facts about Lucy Hayes. Fact number 1. Lucy Hayes' early life and meeting with Rutherford B. Hayes. Born on August 28, 1831, in Chillicothe, Ohio, Lucy Ware Webb lost her father at age 2 and was raised by her mother in Delaware, Ohio. Her upbringing was steeped in education, Methodist faith, and abolitionism, significantly influencing her future roles and beliefs. Lucy attended Wesleyan Female College in Cincinnati, graduating in 1850. She met Rutherford B. Hayes through her brother, a student at Kenyon College where Hayes also studied. Their shared values quickly led to a strong connection. They married on December 30, 1852, in Cincinnati, and had 8 children, 3 of whom died in infancy. Throughout their marriage, marked by mutual respect and intellectual partnership, Lucy played a crucial role in Hayes's life, especially during his Civil War service and presidency. This early foundation set the stage for her significant influence as First Lady. Number 2. The Temperance White House, a national controversy. Lucy Hayes, inspired by the rising temperance movement and influenced by her Methodist upbringing, enforced a strict no-alcohol policy at the White House when her husband, Rutherford B. Hayes, assumed office in March 1877. This unprecedented policy shift sparked widespread debate and backlash across the political and social spectrums. Notable social events, including the state dinner for Grand Duke Alexis of Russia in January 1878, featured non-alcoholic beverages only, which was a dramatic shift from the customary wines typically served. Critics, who derisively nicknamed her Lemonade Lucy, perceived this policy as an overreach of personal morals into the public sphere, challenging the social norms of Washington's political elite. This policy was particularly controversial during an era when alcoholic beverages were a staple at government and diplomatic functions. Number 3. Spiritualism and the White House Seance. Lucy Hayes facilitated a White House seance led by Jane Coombs, a prominent spiritual medium of the time, in the spring of 1881. The event was intended as a private gathering, yet it soon leaked to the public and press. Spiritualism was a popular but contentious movement, and many Americans and members of Congress saw it as incompatible with rational and scientific thought. The disclosure of such an event taking place in the executive mansion brought a wave of criticism, with detractors questioning the judgment of the First Family and mocking their openness to what was seen as pseudoscience. This incident became a focal point for critiques of the Hayes administration, particularly from political factions opposed to Hayes's other reformist policies. Number 4. Refusal of an international gift. In the fall of 1876, during a state visit by Emperor Dom Pedro II of Brazil, Lucy Hayes faced a significant diplomatic challenge. The emperor, aiming to cement friendly relations, offered Lucy an expensive gift consisting of a custom-made, diamond-encrusted jewelry set. Lucy, adhering strictly to the guidelines set forth by the U.S. government that prohibited personal acceptance of gifts from foreign dignitaries, declined the offering. Her refusal, grounded in a desire to avoid any appearance of impropriety or corruption, was praised by her supporters for its integrity but viewed by diplomats and some foreign officials as a potentially harmful snub that could jeopardize diplomatic relations. This incident illustrated the often complex interplay between personal ethical standards and international diplomatic practices. Number 5. Involvement in war controversies. During the American Civil War, Lucy Hayes showed extraordinary commitment to the Union cause, volunteering extensively from 1861 to 1865. She frequently visited military camps and hospitals near her Ohio home and in Washington, D.C., where she assisted in nursing wounded soldiers back to health. Lucy's involvement was notable during the winter of 1862 to 1863 when she stayed at Camp Todd, a military camp in Virginia. Her hands-on approach in caring for soldiers, including providing medical treatment and emotional support, was pioneering for a woman of her social stature at that time. However, her presence in military settings was not universally applauded. Some military officials and civilians thought it unseemly for a woman of her prominence to engage so directly in such gritty, hands-on work. Critics also worried about the propriety and safety of a prominent woman in such environments. Number 6. The White House wedding scandal. On January 31, 1878, Lucy Hayes hosted the wedding of her niece, Emily Platt, to General Russell Hastings at the White House. This event marked the first wedding ever to be held in the executive mansion, setting a precedent for personal family celebrations within this national historical site. The wedding was a lavish affair attended by many dignitaries and notable figures of the time. Despite the joyous occasion, the event sparked controversy, with critics arguing that using the White House for private functions diminished the respect due to a national symbol and misused public resources. This criticism was amplified by concerns over the separation of public duties and private life, suggesting that the Hayes family was blurring these boundaries inappropriately. Number 7. The missing White House china mystery. During Rutherford B. Hayes's presidency, several pieces of valuable White House china went missing. The historic china, some dating back to administrations as early as George Washington's, was noted for its absence in an 1880 inventory. Accusations soon surfaced suggesting that Lucy Hayes might have gifted some of these pieces to friends or acquaintances, a claim that added fuel to ongoing controversies surrounding her stewardship of White House duties. Though there was never concrete evidence linking Lucy directly to the disappearance, the incident cast a long shadow over her reputation, with critics using it as an example of potential mismanagement or impropriety within the administration. The controversy lingered as a topic of public discussion and skepticism, reflecting broader concerns about governance and personal conduct within the nation's highest office. Number 8. Advocacy for African American education, a polarizing stance. Lucy Hayes was a strong advocate for African American education during her time in the White House from 1877 to 1881. Her involvement was particularly noted during her visits to schools for African American children in Washington, D.C., such as the Preparatory High School for Colored Youth, now known as Dunbar High School, which she visited in 1878. Her support for these institutions came at a time when racial tensions remained high in the post-Civil War United States. While some praised her for her progressive stance, others criticized her, arguing that her actions could exacerbate tensions during the ongoing Reconstruction era. Her advocacy work placed her at the center of a national debate about race and education in America. Number 9. The Easter egg roll, accusations of frivolity. The first White House Easter egg roll officially took place in 1878, although informal events had occurred previously on the Capitol grounds. The idea to host the event at the White House reportedly came from President Rutherford B. Hayes, but it was Lucy who embraced the tradition and made it a notable annual family event. Held on the South Lawn, the event was intended to entertain and engage with the public, particularly children. Despite its popularity among attendees, some contemporaries criticized the event as frivolous and an inappropriate use of presidential grounds, arguing that such activities detracted from the gravity of presidential responsibilities. Number 10. Controversial advocacy for animal rights. Throughout her husband's presidency, Lucy Hayes was known for her compassion towards animals, which was reflected in her keeping several pets, including dogs, birds, and even a goat, at the White House. Her advocacy extended beyond pets. She was involved in supporting the early animal welfare movements, a stance that was quite progressive for the time. This advocacy occasionally attracted criticism from those who felt that the First Lady's role should focus on more traditional, human-centered charitable activities. Critics argued that her involvement in such causes was trivial compared to the more pressing human issues of the day.